I welcome you all for this presentation of other assessment tools which has been linked, and I want you to present it with 10 minutes of duration for each of the team. And without any further delay, I declare the session to be open. You can start now. Yes, Aditi, you can start sharing and present it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I think okay, good. Okay, put it under PPT mode and start presenting.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Start the presentation.
Yes, sir. Uh, the team members of our team are Ambika, Amrita, Amritesh, and myself. Here we are going to present the presentation on the types of distribution system under the subject transmission and distribution. As we know, neither the energy can neither be created or destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another form. So the electrical energy is nothing but the conversion of various forms of energy into an electrical energy. Electrical power is being defined as the flow of electrical power from the generating station to the consumer. So under the process of generating the electric power, we have three components that are generating station, transmission network, and distribution network. As we know, the generating station generates the electricity and it's being
Yes,
transferred.
yes, yes. You can move the slides also.
As we know, the generating station generates the electricity when it's transferred, and it is then transferred to the transmission network. From the transmission network, it is distributed via distribution network or the station. So our topic is distribution system, which consists of transformers, transmission lines, feeders, distributors, and service mains. So as we have studied transformers in our earlier classes, transformer is an transformer is used to set up or set down the voltage levels, and it is being used in so many generating stations. The lines which draws the transmit and electric power from from the generating station to the substation is called as feeders. The electrical power is being distributed from the substation with the help of distributors. The small cables used to supply consumers which are used to supply the electric power to the consumers from the distributors are called as service mains.
ಯಾಕೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆಯಾ?
So just a second, sir.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಈಗ.
Yes, sir. Just a second. As we have all studied about the feeders, we can see the diagrammatic representation of the distribution and the feeders and the substation. As we can see that there is known as S is substation, which is being connected to the distributors through the feeders, that is from the substation to the point A, and the another feeder is the substation to the point D. From there, the distribution, the distribution of the electricity is being distributed through the service means. And coming to the point, the distribution system is being divided into two types based on the currents, that is AC and DC currents. We are going to study both, but in our topic, or the topic which we have chosen is based on AC distribution system, which is being divided into two types, that is radial distribution system and ring main distribution system. The radial distribution system is being continued by Ambika.
Thank you, Aditi. Myself, Ambika HB. Today, I am here to explain about the radial distribution system. When the distribution is connected to the substation on one end only with the help of the feeder, then the system is called the radial distribution system, as shown in the figure. The feeders, distributors, and service mains are radiating from the substation, hence the name given as radial system. There are combinations of one distributor and one feeder connecting the distributor to the substation. The distributor 1 is connected only at one end to the substation through the feeder at a point A, similarly to the other feeder feeding the distribution 2 only at one point B. Next slide. It's a fault occurs in either of the feeder or the distributor. All the consumers connected to the distributor will get affected. The fault on feeder or a distributor causes interruption in supply to all the consumers and the distributors. This can be avoided by modifying the radial system by the distributor is fed at the number of points with the help of the feeders. Next, advantages of the radial system. Simplest as it has only one fed at the end. The initial cost is low, useful when the generation is at low voltage, preferred when the station is located at the center of the load, more economical for some areas which have low load requirement. Disadvantages of the radial system distribution system are the end of the distributor near to the substation gets heavily loaded. When the load on the distributor changes, the clients at the distant end of the distributor face serious voltage fluctuations. At users are dependent on the single feeder and the distributor. A fault on any of these two causes interruption in supply to all the users connected to the distributor. Now my friend Amrita will explain.
Myself, Amrita. I am explaining the topic ring main distribution system. In this system, the primaries of a distribution transformer form a loop. The loop circuit starts from the substation bus bars, makes a loop through the area to be served, and returns to the substation. The feeders cover the whole area of supply in a ring fashion and finally terminates at the substation from where it is started. The feeders is in a closed loop form and look like a ring, hence the name is given to the system as a ring main system. Next slide. The feeders in the ring fashion is divided into number of sections as A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E and E A as shown in the figure. The various distributors are connected at A, B, C, D and E. Each distributor is supplied by two feeders and hence the design is similar to the two feeders in a parallel on a different path. Hence, if there is a fault on any part of the feeder, still the consumer will keep on getting the continuous supply. Next slide. Advantages of ring main distribution system. Voltage drop across the circuit is less or negligible when compared with the tree system. If any signal connector is broken or disconnected at any point in the circuit, all the other sockets will be still work because they will be being act as a radial circuit and fed from the other end of the circuit. Voltage fluctuations at consumer terminal will be less, as there are several feeders through power failure occur in one feeder won't affect for continuity supply. As this is a ring system, there won't be heavy voltage fluctuation. Disadvantages of ring main distribution system. Ring distribution system cannot be expanded due to the additional power lines and greater circuit complexities. Expensive method of install. It is very difficult to maintain the system. Waste of cable and labor. Another main disadvantage is that a lack of understanding of the system is another problem.
Yes.
So we are done with it.
Yeah. Okay. First question. Was the
Yes, sir.
template same whatever I have given? Have you not changed it, or have you used the same one?
So I didn't get you.
We had given a PPT template.
Yes, sir, I had changed it, sir, because it was not getting edited, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Then, where is the team number in your slide? Go to the first slide. Where is your team number?
So I missed it, I think so.
Why? And I told you regarding the recent trends in transmission and distribution. The types of distribution system is already there in topic, isn't
So,
it?
yes, sir, but actually in India, we prefer more
Hmm.
on the radial distribution system, sir.
Okay. Yes. Now,
Most of the parts in India, we use a radial distribution system, so only I chose it, sir.
okay. Yes. Ambika, can you tell me regarding this loop system?
Yes, sir.
Why loop system is preferred? There is no point in looking. Okay. Next, Amruta TR, can you tell me how do you define feeders? How do you define feeders? Okay. Next, in our district, Mysore city, what is the distribution system that they have employed? Hope I'm audible. Anyone can answer among all the three. In Mysore, what type of distribution system they have used? Okay. Next, why do we prefer only three-phase four-wire system in distribution system? Why do we use star connection all the time? Why in distribution station systems? Okay, so you have failed to answer these questions. Your marks will be based on the rubrics, and you have
Sir,
failed to answer the Q&A. Yeah.
sir, we prefer the star connection because of circulating current. If any unbalanced
Circulating current.
remain, yes, sir.
It can also be observed in delta. Why preferably star connection in case of distribution system?
Losses are less.
No, no, no. There is one specific reason you have to identify. Okay then. Thank you everyone. Thank you. You can stop
Thank you.
sharing. Aditi, you can stop sharing. Send the PPT so that the report is not yet sent. Along with PPT, you have to send a report also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll give you 2 days time. Prepare the report and send it to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you,
Good.
sir.
Good. So Amrutesh will be awarded 0 marks. Okay. Amrutesh will be awarding him 0 marks. Okay. Fine. So moving on to next team. Team number 2. Team number 2.
Yes, sir.
Who are those team number 2?
Sir, Ashik, Ashwath, and Anjali, sir.
Ashik is there, Ashwath is there, and Anjali.
Yes, sir.
Only 3 of them?
Yes, sir. Archana MB is not there, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. So she will be given 0. Don't worry.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yes, Ashik, you can start presenting. Very good.
Okay.
You can start presenting.
Yes, sir. Ashwath will present, sir.
Okay, anyone can start sharing and start presenting.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I am Ashik A, and I, with my teammates Ashwath Prasad and Anjali, will be explaining you about extra high voltage AC transmission engineering. Next slide. Next.
Stick on to the timings, everyone.
Yes. In recent years, the electrical energy is generated and consumed at a very high rate throughout the world. There are many new trends and developments which have occurred in the field of transmission of electric power, which leads to use of high voltages. Currently, large amount of power is transmitted over medium and long range transmission line at the voltage of 300 kilovolt and above. The voltages which are less than 300 kilovolt are termed as high voltages. The voltages which are in the range of 300 kilovolts and 765 kilovolts are called extra high voltages, whereas the voltages above 765 kilovolt are termed as ultra high voltages. In India, transmission voltages ranges from 66 kilovolt to 400 kilovolts. Now, what is the necessity for EHV transmission? With the decrease in transmission current, size of the conductor required reduces, which decreases the volume of the conductor. With the increase in level of transmission voltage, the installation cost is less. With the increase in transmission voltage, for same amount of power to be transmitted in the line decreases. It is economical with EHV transmission to interconnect the power systems on the large scale. A large amount of power over long distances is technically and economically feasible only at high voltages in EHV and UHV ranges. The number of circuits and the land requirement for the transmission decreases with the use of higher transmission voltages. Next slide. Configuration for EHV AC transmission. The typical configuration for the long EHV AC transmission is as shown in the figure. It consists of generating station, shunt reactor, static VAR source, bus bar at substation, intermediate substation for a reactive power component, and a circuit breaker. Next slide. Next. To ensure reliability and stability during a fault on any one phase of the three-phase line, EHV AC transmission line requires minimum 2 parallel three-phase transmission circuits. For Installing series capacitors, shunt reactors, switching and protection equipments, EHV line also requires one or more intermediate substations. Generally, intermediate substations is required at an interval of 250 to 300 km. Now, environmental considerations for the EHVAC transmission will be explained by Anjali.
Thank you, Ashik. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Anjali, and I'm going to explain about environmental consideration for extra high voltage AC transmission. The radio interference plays an important role in designing of extra high voltage AC lines. Radio and television interference is generated due to corona, which causes disturbance in wireless signals and communication lines. In bad weather conditions, the corona is more and radio interference is more. So, the radio interference plays an important role in designing of extra high voltage AC lines. The care must be taken to keep audible noise as low as possible. For a large voltage, a hissing sound is generated due to corona, which can be easily heard and affects the environment. The humming noise from transformers and other electrical equipments also creates audible noise. So the care must be taken to stop such audible noise as low as possible. Corona effect must be reduced. Corona effect and ozone gas discharge at the time of corona, it affects the sun and hence affects the environment. So corona effect must be reduced. Practically, extra high voltage AC lines run through forests, farmlands and hilly areas. Thus, clearing a path for these lines is an important aspect without affecting environmental balance. The possibility of fire due to the branches of dead trees near such lines is another issue. Such trees and branches must be cut and removed. Proper protective equipments must be provided to reduce the effects of lightning, storms, and other adverse atmospheric conditions on the environment. Next slide. Standard rated voltages of extra high voltage AC lines. The standard rated voltages for AC transmission are given in the table below. The choice of the transmission line's voltage is made by referring this table. For a new line, the choice of voltage is made in such a way that the nearest existing system voltage is preferred. Next slide. The extra high voltage AC line normally requires 6 to 24 conductors for transmitting bulk power over long distance. Each conductor is nothing but bundled conductor. The following table gives choice of extra high voltage AC lines for different parts and lengths. Ashwath will continue the pros and cons of extra high voltage AC transmission lines. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali. Myself, Ashwath. Today I am going to explain advantage, disadvantage, and application. In advantage, is the screen visible?
No,
Uh,
it's
yeah,
visible.
you can start now.
In advantage,
No. Yeah, advantage. Advantage is visible.
okay. So in advantages, the number of circuits and the land requirement is less. So we can reduce the land requirement by using this high voltage, extra high voltage AC transmission. Next, reduction of electric losses. The total line cost per megawatt per kilometer is also less. And increasing transmission efficiency, and your efficiency also increases. Equipments used in high voltage AC system are simple and reliable. Improvement of voltage regulation, flexibility for future system growth, reduction in conductor materials. So in the reduction in conductor material, you can use less number of conductors It's increasing transmission capacity. In disadvantages, the corona loss and radio interference, line supports, sir, am I audible? Hello? Hello? Sir, am I audible?
Yes, Ashwath.
Yeah, you talk. Is it done?
No, sir.
Yeah, finish it.
High cost insulation needed, electrostatic effects. In application, they are applied in electric power distribution. In cathode ray tubes to generate X-rays and particle beams to demonstrate arcing of ignition. They are used in photomultiplier tubes. They are also used in industrial and scientific applications. Thank you.
Okay, so you have chosen a topic on extra high voltage AC transmission system. Now, can you tell me why did we choose EHV AC? What was the previous transmission system?
Sir,
What was
the previous was only a high voltage AC transmission, that is HVAC transmission.
okay?
That voltage range was only 300 kilovolt. So for large transmission, it was not possible. So then in high extra voltage AC, the voltage range is around 300 to 765 kilovolts.
Hmm.
So transmission for larger lengths can be used, sir. In India,
Oh,
we used around 66 kilovolt to 400 kilovolts, sir.
okay, where in India have you seen EHV AC transmission system? It is there. It is in India. It is there. EHVAC. Where have you seen it, or where it is installed? Okay, I want you to go through that. And the next, Ashwath Prasad. Ashwath Prasad. Yeah. So you talked about line supports. What are the different types of line supports have you come across?
The towers,
Line support and towers are two different things. What are the different types of line supports you have come across? Okay.
ceramic,
How? Uh, No, that is insulators. Ceramic insulator is an insulators, types of insulators. Now, where have you come across uh, the voltage regulation? What do you mean by voltage regulation? And what should be an ideal value for a voltage regulation?
the
Okay, next, Anjali.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Anjali, in one of the slides, your team mentioned that you are going to reduce the cost. How the cost is being reduced if voltage is increased? You said that cost of the conductors. How you are going to say that cost is reduced? See, failing to answer the questions you will be definitely losing marks. Okay.
Sir, sir, can I explain?
Yeah, let them answer. I have asked a particular question to them. Yes, Ashik. They will lose the marks. You can tell.
Yes, sir. The transmission capacity is proportional to operating voltages, sir.
Yes,
So
exactly.
the
Is it
so
only
the
1 minute? Is it only operating voltage or square of the operating voltage?
square, sir. Sorry,
Yes,
square
exactly.
of operating voltages. So the cost decreases as voltage increases.
Yes, exactly right. Okay, and it's a good presentation overall, and you can make certain changes what I have told you in the PPT, like including the current trends topic. Okay, the whole idea of the theme, which is for your OAT, is recent trends in transmission and distribution. Okay, so understand the title. I have also given you the different topics also. You can search on the internet. Very wide range of topics are available throughout. So try to present it better. So you have UHVAC also, okay, and you have comparison. I didn't see anywhere the comparison between EHVAC, HVAC, UHVAC and all. Okay, only some voltage levels were discussed. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Dhanush. Yeah. So I just wanted that slide to be included, and you can send me back along with the report. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you then. Thank you. Next, we have team number 3. Can we have team number 3 right now? Is it Chetan? Chetan, is it your team?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Can I present, sir?
Yeah, yeah. It's open. The time starts now.
Sir, is my screen visible and am I audible?
Yes, Chetan. You can go ahead and present it.
A pleasant good evening, Professor Anup H. and we,
1 minute.
team number
1 minute. I think Bhavana wants to say something. Bhavana?
No, sir. No. Let
Okay,
him
okay,
continue.
okay. Yes.
Okay. A pleasant good evening to Professor Anup H. Myself Chetan and my teammates Dhanush HS, Dhyanam, Bhavana KS from Team 3 have chosen the topic automation distribution, which is a present upcoming trend which yet need to be implemented in India, and research are going on continuously. I kindly request my teammate Bhavana to give a brief introduction about this.
Thank you, Chetan. Distribution automation is the process by which the collection of data is automated and analyzed and then controls executed by utilities. So, electrical power distribution system plays an important role in delivering electricity to consumers in the power system. Electrical power utilities are extensively adopting the computer-aided monitoring, control and management of electric power distribution system to provide many improvements in the consumer services increasingly. Therefore, research and development activities are being carried out extensively to automate the electric power distribution systems, which are applying recent advancements in the area of information technology and data communication systems. Flexible control of distribution systems, which can be used to enhance efficiency, reliability, and quality of electricity services, is implemented by the automation in the distribution field. So, what we mean by the automation? The word automation is defining as doing a particular task automatically in a sequence with faster operation rate. This requires the applying of microprocessor systems, communication networks, and some relevant software programming all at once.
Okay.
Automatic monitoring.
Is the slides moving, or is it introduction itself you are doing?
It is introduction.
Okay, go ahead.
So this requires the applying of microprocessor systems, communication networks, and some relevant software programming all at once. So the distribution automation system is defined as a system that enables an electric utility to remotely monitor, coordinate, and operate distribution components in a real-time mode from remote locations. So now I'll hand it over to Dhyan to forward it further.
Yeah, thank you, Bhavana. Working of distribution automation. If you think about the distribution system as a whole, it's typically unmonitored. It's very much a physical system. It's an electrical and mechanical system at its root. Most distribution systems have no intelligence or logic. They have very fixed transformers that aren't necessarily even variable in terms of voltage control. If you think about the distribution system as a whole, it's typically unmonitored. The ability to apply technology to monitor the physical world is not just distribution automation, but also the process of a smart grid and smart control. For example, uh, in the forest, like if a tree falls on the any wire current wire, so that the wireman should roam uh, he should roam around the fully forest, so that in distribution automation, uh, don't need of roaming around the forest to search the lining of that one mistake of the tree that current ಕಟ್ಟಾಗಿರೋದೇನು ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. So that automation manually computerally systemally.
Here, Dhyan,
Sir.
the mode of communication is English.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Don't need to roam around the forest for that single cut of the wiring. In automation, everything will be fixed in the computer system, so that you can handle by one person. So these are working of automation. Next, components used. Products encompass the components and systems used to supervise and measure, monitor, and control electrical loads on distribution systems and at distribution substations, including asset optimization, automated and interconnected equipment, demand optimization, distribution optimization, distribution system monitoring, control and analyze software, information and communications technology networks, test equipment and systems for product certification and conformity acceptance. Without these components, the automation distribution will never work. So next, Chetan, my teammate will continue.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Basically, whatever it is, automation distribution, it's in a very simple term to explain the everything. The distribution system is operated manually, and the manpower is required to operate it. But there is no automation. Automation, the artificial intelligence is the current trend and the current boom in the world, where everyone is trying to digitalize their things. So I would like to tell two of the things which includes automation distribution. Basically, automatic source transfer system. In simple words, to say that it's just transferring the source from one line to other line without the involvement of manpower. So what does this does? This enhance the system reliability to critical loads with high-speed communications and reliable switching between two sources. As I said, when there are two distribution lines, it switches it manually. The automatic source transfer system is ideally designed to protect critical loads that cannot tolerate a sustained loss of voltage event. We have a customized communication technology called Form6 recloser controls. What does they do? They give a high-speed peer-to-peer protocol, enabling transfers to an alternate source in as little as 5 cycles. Within, the distribution system runs according to the cycle wherein the data can be recorded. As now there is a requirement of some 200 volts to a particular area, they send in a cycle wherein that voltage is supplied and the data is recorded. So as less as 5 cycles, this will provide a high-speed transfer systems. Now, what is different in this automatic transfer system is there are user selectable restoration options that quickly return the electrical utility system to normal. How can that be? They do local restoration, they have automatic restoration, and they have automatic restoration as well as automatic initiation. Now, this is where the automation comes in picture. The other technology is capacitor bank controls. Now, this is a very much needed technology that needs to be implemented in our nation. You can see the component here. Now this has the digital operating system. You can on or off the distribution system, and you can control the capacitance that need to be provided on the line. And you have the readings over here, which gives you digital readings of the supply chain operating upon. And you can see it's a very small component. It is very cost efficient, and it's fabricated, which makes the man working there a very safer person. So this is basically a CBC 8000 capacitor bank control which we use, and it is designed to operate utility distribution feeder capacitors, which offers increased security, simplified installation, reduced training, and lower cost of ownership. The highly flexible control can be readily deployed in advanced automation schemes such as Aton's Yukon Integrated Volt Control, SCADA, and Distribution Management System. Now, basically, what is SCADA? SCADA is Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. This technology gives the software and hardware elements that allows industrial organizations to control industrial process locally or at a remote locations. Now that this itself is called the automation system. And what is the main key points of this? We have modular economical controller support, standalone functionality, and a variety of communication configurations. We have a 3-phase power quality measurements too, and we have voltage control algorithm to address feeder voltage violations. So this comes with its own built-in program, and we have a KVAR algorithm to optimize power factor to user selectable target. I request Dhanush to brief out the advantages of the automation distribution system.
So the advantages of automation and distribution are save cost through efficiency gain. So the first benefit of distribution automation is you can save cost through efficiency gain. Distribution automation offers a better way by using the data capacity that exists in something like the tier DMR tier 3 voice network. These manual switches overs can be managed remotely from your control center. That means you can use that $4 million to reinvest in the business as you choose. Second one, improved grid reliability. Another benefit is improved grid reliability. Distribution automation provides visibility and control of your entire grid. And the third benefit is optimize your network and save energy. You can optimize your network and save energy. Distribution automation allows you to proactively resolve issues in your network before they escalate into serious problems. So the next advantages is wide area mission critical network. First, it provides a wide area mission critical network. So traditionally, providing the required data communication that enable distribution automation has been difficult in the areas of low density. One network for voice and SCADA, and the other benefit is of tight grid link is that you only need one network for both voice and SCADA.
Okay, then. Yes. So I have few questions right now in the topic.
Thank you, sir. The platform is open for Q&A.
Yeah, I'll be asking a few questions related to the topic what you have posted. So Chetan, can you let me know what are the previous protocols that were used earlier just before introducing the recent automation techniques?
Yes, sir. The protocol went as such that as soon as the power is generated and it reaches its substation, the distribution process comes into picture. Based on the requirements of the particular location, the person who was allotted his work in the distribution stations has to preset the load on the requirement basis and had to distribute the powers generated there. But now as the world is in the trend of transmission and distribution, which they need to make it automation. So automation, basically what does, the man does not have to go set up the load, use the connections, switch it, and change the lines.
I want you to only tell about the communication protocol. How communication takes place if a fault occurs in the system. Simple.
Definitely they had to go up on the roads, tracking on the lines, and once they figure out the trouble, they had to communicate to the workings, and then they had to repair that thing.
Then what is the thing about automation then? So you said about the distribution.
Yes, sir. Automation distribution is making your work more simpler. Instead of going on tracking the line where the fault is occurred, you can just sit at a place and your computer gives you the information that where the damage has occurred. You can directly land upon that place and you can fix the thing.
Okay. Can you let me know about the fault, how a fault occurs on a distribution system, how it is eliminated, and what is the importance of using SCADA? Bhavana can also answer it.
Sir, can I?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Sir, okay. Now, what faults may occur? Obviously, there are natural disasters due to rain or due to wind or due to any tree fall or because of any prey sitting on the line. That can definitely cause the damage in the transmission line. So basically, when it is not happening in automation system, you have a control system or a control component which detects what's the problem, and it shows that the current is not being traveled further from that location. So using that device, we can get to know where the fault has occurred. SCADA plays an important role there, as it gives the data acquisition of where the control has been gone wrong. The supervisory of controlling is the main impact of the work of the SCADA. So through that, you can just know where the current has been piled up or junked up, and we can land up there and fix it up.
Okay. Now, yes, next, Bhavana, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the automation thing, like you are using the distribution automation here. Distribution automation is your topic. So how will you say that cost is reduced?
Sir, because it gives the stable and lower cost, avoided cost, because when the fault occurs, there is no need of going there and checking the faults and inspecting the faults. It is automatically detected the fault locations, and the fuel consumption is less.
What do you mean by
And-
fuel consumption? Why are you saying fuel consumption? How comes fuel consumption?
Because, sir, sir, while tracking the faults, by manpower is used, sir. When we have to transport to that location, the fuel used is saved.
See, that is
And the
not
manpower is also.
No.
Yes,
See,
sir.
whenever you think about distribution station, there should be a
Yes, sir.
manpower and fuel. What you're talking is taking a car from one place to another place. That is not a technical reason. Okay, that might be
Okay,
one
sir.
of the reasons. I am talking more about technical reason. Okay, and one more thing,
That's
what you
energy
said is
efficiency.
regarding. Sorry.
Energy efficiency is improved, sir.
Okay. How are you defining efficiency here in terms of automation?
Sir, including decreased energy utilization and attenuated demand during peak hours, reduced energy losses are occurred, sir.
Okay. See, what happens in peak hours and what happens in off-peak hours? Can you let me know right now?
Sir, in peak hours, the load will be more, and in off-peak hours, the load demand is less, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Bhavana. Dhyan.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Dhyan,
sir. Yes, sir.
can you tell me about the concept which is related to a distribution system? What are the different types of distribution systems that you have come across?
Sir, it's a radial loop or network.
Okay, which one is frequently used? Which one is used nowadays?
Sir, it's most commonly used is primary distribution, sir.
Okay. Why primary distribution?
Sir,
What happens in primary distribution? What is the voltage level in primary distribution? What is the voltage level in secondary distribution?
Sir, the voltage available is 11k volts, sir. 11k and 66k volts and 33 kilovolts, sir.
Just check it. Is it 11, 33 or 66?
Sir, 11. I guess 11, sir. 11 kilovolt.
Which one? Secondary distribution? Or
Primary, sir. Primary.
Okay. Next. What about you have range of voltages? Can you tell me about it?
Sir, range of voltage, sir. That's what, sir. 11k and 66k and 33k, sir.
See, no, wrong. See, it is 11 kilovolt,
Yes, sir.
6.6 kilovolt, 3.3 kilovolt. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And yes, can you tell me about secondary voltage right now? Secondary voltage level. Only 2 voltages are there in secondary. Can you let me know about it?
No idea, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next, Dhanush HS. Dhanush,
Yes, sir.
what
Yes,
is
sir.
voltage, what is voltage regulation? Why is it important?
Sir, voltage regulation is a measure of change in the voltage magnitude between the sending and receiving end of a component.
Okay. Now, why it is important? And what is the typical value of voltage regulation?
Sir, voltage regulation maintains the voltage of the power source within acceptable limits. So it is important.
What is that acceptable limits I'm talking? What is that acceptable limits?
Sir, the voltage regulator is needed to keep voltage within the prescribed range, sir, that can be tolerated by the electrical equipment.
See, that is in terms of circuits. I'm talking about voltage regulation.
Sir, voltage regulators normally operate on 150 to 240 volts or 90 to 280 volts.
Thank you, Dhanush. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes. Fine then. Most of you answered it correctly, and most of you have not answered it. And it's a good area that you have chosen. And try to improvise for your final year project and mini project also. Okay. Thank you.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can I justify that question asked, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, why we need automation instead of the normal distribution system what we are using now? So definitely, if any fault has occurred, you need to shut down the entire line of that particular area of what it has damaged. So there will be imbalance in the power system. So if there at peak times, if there is any damage to until and unless we relocate the damage, till then we cannot supply the voltages or the power what they are required of. So that it will affect the entire manufacturing sector. So using automation, you can do it in a quicker manner.
Okay then. Okay. So communication protocols, ICT, information and communication technology, and you have optimization technique. So you have many such things to optimize the power flow in a distribution system. So that is also should be considered. That thing I think should have been considered. All right. Okay then. So never mind. Next we have
answered me, Chetan TK, and team signing off. Thank you.
Thank you, Chetan. Next we have team number 4. Team number 4. Who is it? Oh, Himanshu Katana and team. Okay. Yes, Himanshu, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Have you prepared the slides or what it is?
It's prepared, sir.
Very good then. Very good. Himanshu is there. Next, Priyadarshini is there. Huh?
No, sir.
Sir, Guru Kiran.
Guru Kiran.
Kiran,
Sir,
Hasmit,
Hasmit Ram.
Hemavati,
Guru Kiran, Hasmit Ramo. Next,
Hemavati, and me.
Hemavati MK. Hemavati MK. Okay, fine. You can start your presentation. Your time starts now.
Sir. Just a second, sir. Good evening, one and all. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. I would like to introduce to my teammates Guru Kiran, Hasmit Ram, Hemavati. Today we are all here to be discussing about new technologies used in underground cables. The electricity sector has been facing enormous challenges in
Move
most
the
of the
slides.
countries.
Move the slides. Slides are not moving.
Sir, it's introduction, sir. The electricity sector has been facing enormous challenges in most of the countries around the world due to deregulation and growing demand of power and efficient supply in electricity. So underground cables are very efficient in the way when we can supply them at the fastest rate and with enormous power. Now I would like to take the stage to explain about cross-linked polyethylene, which is used in underground cables. Welded external coated steel pipe, pressurized gas or fluid, usually nitrogen or synthetic oil at 200 psi, segmented copper conductor, paper insulation, metallic shield. The cross-linked polyethylene (XLPE) underground transmission is often called solid-electric. The XLPE is becoming the national standard for underground electrical transmission lines. This type of lines relies on high quality manufacturing controls to eliminate any contaminants or voids in the insulation that could lead to electrical discharges and breakdown of the line from the electrical stress. The solid dielectric material replaces the pressurized liquid or the gas of other type of cables. They are not housed together in a pipe, but they're set in concentric ducts or buried side by side directly in special prepared soil. In each cable consists of a copper or an aluminum conductor, a semi-conducting shield, a cross-linked polyethylene insulation, and the outer covering consists of another semi-conducting shield, a metallic sheath, and a plastic jacket. The insulation is about twice as thick as the oil insulation used in other type of cables. Now I'd like to hand over this to Hasmit Ram. He would be explaining about tree retardant across linked polyethylene.
Thank you, Himanshu. Myself, Hasmit Ram. Now I am explaining about tree retardant across linked polyethylene. The use of tree retardant polyethylene insulation has allowed utilities to achieve long service life under severe operating conditions. This has led to improved life cycles, economics, and has minimized social and environmental issues resulting from cable replacement activities. Tree retardant cross-linked polyethylene was designed to overcome the water treeing deficiency of high molecular weight thermoplastic polyethylene and cross-linked polyethylene. In addition to significantly retarding the growth of water trees, tree retarding cables was designed to maintain high dielectric strength and low electrical loss. It was introduced in 1983 and in the ensuring 23-year time period, tree retarding cables has been the predominant insulation used for medium voltage underground distribution cables in North America. Over these years, the laboratory testing has consistently demonstrated the excellent resistance of tree retardant cables against the degradation in wet electrical aging. It was recognized that XLPE as well as other polymers undergo a degradation process called water treeing when exposed to moisture and an electrical stress enhancement. So next, superconductor cables will be explained by my teammate Guru Kiran.
It's Himawati.
You can start.
I am Emavati. Now I am explain about superconductor cables. Superconductor is a material that can conduct electricity or transport electrons from one atom to another with no resistance. Below the critical temperature, the wires become superconductor. Superconductor cables utilize superconductor materials instead of the copper or aluminum traditionally used to carry electricity in overhead power lines and underground cables. Superconductor materials provide two operational advantages. Superconductor materials can carry well over 100 times the current density of copper or aluminum, which in turn drives system economics and in fundamental. The cables would employ superconductor wires that are commercially well established and available from multiple producers globally. Superconductor cable systems are now operating in multiple in-grid sites around the world, demonstrating their reliability and performance. With all previous installation or AC applications, applying the technology to DC is straightforward. The present superconductor wire manufacturing technologies, superconductor DC cables design are possible with very high continuous power capacities of 5 to 20 gigawatt. The economics of the design favor higher power rating. For example, a 10 gigawatt design is estimated to be less than one-third more expensive as 5 gigawatt design. Thank you. Next, Guru Kiran will continue.
Good evening, everyone. Today, I will explaining about the electromagnetic shielding. This is a new technology used in underground cables. Typically, materials used for electromagnetic shielding, including sheet metal, metal screen, and metal foam. Any holes in the shield or mesh must be significantly smaller than the wavelength of the radiation that is being kept out, or the enclosure will not effectively approximate an unbroken conducting surface. The shielded cable, which has electromagnetic shielding in the form of a wire mesh surrounding an inner core conductor. The shielding impedance the escape of any signal from the core conductor and also signal from the beam added to the core conductor. Some cables have two separate coaxial screens, one connected at both ends and the other one at the one end only, to maximize shielding of both magnetic and electrostatic fields. This is about the electromagnetic shielding. Then overall conclusion is, next slide. Yes. In generally, transmission losses are lower with underground cables compared to overhead lines. Additionally, new underground cables technology with unique characteristics of low impedance and ohmic losses enable a massive increase in power transmission capacity. Underground cables can also deliver economic benefits where civil works are reduced by avoiding unnecessary digging, beside a big saving in tree rolling for the local council. We can include it by the above mentioned new technologies used in maintenance of underground cables. It is possible to reduce the loss in power transfer, increasing in maintenance with low cost, reliability, good safety, security, and most efficient power transfer in the distribution and transmission network. Thank you.
Okay, good presentation. I think the slides have been modified. It is not according to the template. I feel that. Yes, I have a query right now here. You told XLPE. Himanshu, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, XLPE. What does it mean? What's the full form of it?
Sir, I didn't get you. Sorry.
What is XLPE?
Sir, cross-linked polyethylene, sir.
Okay, why it is called as a cross-linked polyethylene?
Sir, basically we don't put them like a mesh. We put them side to side with
Okay.
a very, very minute, like it completely avoid voids and spaces so that it can produce high efficient using liquids.
Mhm.
So like basically liquids have some reflective technology so that we can produce it efficiently, sir.
Mhm.
It varies from material. So using it that way can efficient be.
Okay, why preferably did you use? You say that XLP is cross-linked polyethylene, right? So why
Yes,
did
sir.
you use the polyethylene itself as a material?
Sir, in soil it's much more efficient. So it's basically underground.
Yeah.
For like underwater we use tree related. For
Mhm.
this underground soil we use XLPE. That would be very efficient.
On what
Because it's
basis did you? On what basis are you categorizing it under efficient?
So
See,
it is twice as efficient. So we have twice the thickness, which
I
can
know
be
that.
used from any kind of oils.
Yes. Once when I say a person A is better than person B, I should say referring to a parameter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what parameters have you considered it for a cable?
Insulations.
Yeah, okay. So why insulation is being preferred right now?
Sir, we can usually see landslides or usually like high displacements when it comes to underground cables, and we can see high losses. But this is twice as thick, and we can avoid all kind of underground creatures. So it does not disturb the environment, and we can easily be used as an insulation. It's like basically we are using oils.
Okay.
It is as thick as oil, so it does not penetrate any kind of creature.
Okay. Okay. So now why Guru Kiran? Guru Kiran?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. You said that in the underground cables, is DC cables preferred or AC cables preferred these days?
Sir, we
Yes,
preferred
yes.
AC, sir.
Why not DC? What happens in why DC is not preferred?
Sir, this DC compares to favorable with conventional alternative for the long distance power transmission, sir. When transmitting DC power, the superconductor become performance conductor with zero electric resistance, sir.
Okay. So you mean to say that superconductors are preferred as conductors for transmitting power? Do you think that superconductors are cost efficient?
No, sir. It's cost efficient.
Okay.
Sir, superconductors are basically expensive, but it can produce more efficient.
Yeah. See, once when I use it for an underground cable,
Yeah.
it should be like whenever there is a population or something like that, it should have only in such cases, not in all the cases.
Yeah, it's not in here, sir. It's basically North America and foreign usually.
Yeah. So do
India
you mean to say
is
that the population is more there?
no. It doesn't mean they have the technology and the right basis to construct it
Okay.
in an efficient way.
Okay. Yes. Fine. So next, Hemavati. Sorry, Hashmit Ram.
Yes, sir.
Hashmit Ram. What do you mean by multiple in-grid state? In one of your slides, I saw multiple in-grid state. What do you mean by that? How do you define the term grid? Ram, how do you define the term grid?
Sir,
How do you
a
define
grid
grid?
is Sir, it is a structure made up of a series of intersecting straight or curved lines used to structure content, sir, for the content of the structure.
The content of the structure for the structure of the content. Wow. I'm talking about electrical grid here. Okay, I'm not talking about anything else. Next, Himavati.
Yes, sir.
Himavati, what are the different types of conductors that are used for transmitting electrical power? Okay, how do you define electrical corona? Can you define electrical corona? You can stop sharing the screen. Okay. So if you don't know the answer, I assume it that way. I'll stop the recording.